team was from St. Andrews Presbyterian Church in Dunedin, and our team leaders were from St. Andrews. But we had 19 people on our team altogether, and we actually came from 5 different churches, which was kind of neat. And so that's the whole group of us, and we're there at the ranch. And you can see in some of these pictures that greenery and scenery that Catherine was talking about. It really is a beautiful country. I took this picture in the dining room at the ranch where we stay, and I wanted you to see this because this is the mission statement for HOI. And one of the things that I love about this trip is that we work with this organization that is constantly, even, there is talk about sometimes short-term mission teams can cause more harm than help, and sometimes it can be about the people that go, it's more about feeling good about ourselves than actually doing real help that helps. And one of the ways to avoid it being like that is if you work with an organization that has a presence in the country all the time and is constantly working with the people, and that is what HOI does. They have the ranch there where they teach agriculture that's helping people in the community learn how to raise animals and grow crops and things like that. It's the teaching Amanda Fish thing, right? And then they have the clinic there, which Lori's going to tell us more about maybe, but they have a clinic at the ranch that serves, I don't remember how many communities, but there's 33 communities, I think, that are served by this single clinic. And the clinic is, the government depends on the clinic to serve these communities, but the government doesn't really necessarily provide the resources. So a lot of the resources that they have in the clinic come from groups like ours that bring donations and help support HOI. And then they also have a school. And the school, some of the villages like ours has a school, but that school only, in the village that we were in, only probably has kids, through about 12 years old. But the school that's near the ranch, it's a larger school, and they offer a wider range of programs and education opportunities. They teach kids computers, there's, I think, arts, there's just things that can help them get computer skills, things that can help them get ahead and have some advantages, and it's a better opportunity than they might get in some of the village schools alone. So anyway, the mission of Honduras Outreach is a life-changing, centered in Christ partnership between Hondurans and North Americans, which promotes community-directed and integrated spiritual, physical, educational, and economic development of men, women, and children in Honduras that promotes dignity, cooperation, and self-sufficiency. It's just a really great mission statement and a great organization. So yes, this is just, I want to show a couple pictures that really piggyback on what Virginia Catherine was saying, to just give you a little bit of an idea of what we did day to day. This is the first day that we came into the village, and there's kind of this big meet and greet where people come out and the kids do a presentation, they sing their national anthem. We sing our national anthem, they always want us to do that, and just greet each other. And you can see the kids are here in the front, but in the back behind the kids are some of the adults from the community who are there to help. They're there to work, and so that was kind of our first introduction. And then, as Virginia Catherine said, every morning you get loaded up in these Land Rovers, and we rode to the village. This center picture is a picture of the Vacation Bible School where the kids are acting out the story. I'm not sure what, this might be the Good Samaritan, I don't know, this is, Virginia Catherine might tell us, I was not in Vacation Bible School, but it looks like they're carrying a sick, maybe this is the men carrying their lame friend through the roof to see Jesus. But anyway, on this trip I wasn't in the Vacation Bible School, but other times I have been. The kids do love acting out the stories and putting on the costumes. And then the other picture is the work. There we are carrying buckets of sand and sand to mix the concrete, or once the concrete is mixed, then we were carrying the concrete in these buckets to pour in the rooms where we needed to pour it, or on the porch where we needed to pour it. So that's a little bit of kind of an overview of what's going on during the day. This is a picture of the Pila, and it just gets about that high. I think that's about as high as it gets, and then it gets filled in and it becomes, a sink for washing and storing water. And this is the volcano that Virginia Catherine talked about. So it's like 8 bags of sand and 2 bags of concrete, and you mix it all together, and it is hard on the back, especially if you're not used to doing that kind of thing. But this is one of the things, you know, you work right alongside the people together, and even though there is the language barrier, I mean, the people in the village do not speak English at all. So the best communication is either through charades, or those of us who have a very limited amount, well, I had a very limited amount of Spanish. Virginia Catherine had some. She did get compliments for how well she could communicate with people, but you know, but you just make it work, and you do manage to communicate and get through the work together, and there's a lot of laughter and a lot of fun as you're doing that together. Play is also a big part of the day, especially because the kids are hanging around, and some of the older kids, like Virginia Catherine mentioned, they'll jump in with the work. The women, the men, the kids, they jump in with the work, but some of the littler ones, they love it when you just play bubbles with them or play these games. And I love this picture of my daughter, and I have to share it because that was a few weeks ago in church when I talked about seeing Jesus in our team members. That was the day that I saw Jesus in her. She was just playing with those kids. This is a video, and I think this is from the last day that we work in the village. We do a fiesta, and it's just a time to kind of celebrate the week and celebrate the work that's been done and the relationships, and so we just have fun together. And the kids were doing some performances for us, and these kids in the front, they're just so cute. I think this is going to play. You can watch them dancing. Oh, I don't know why it was that. I don't know why. Let me see if I can get it to go. Let me see if I can get it to go back and not be so fast. Whoops, I'm going to add, wait. Let's see, here we go. Let's try this again. I'm not sure if it'll work. Oh, I don't know why it's doing that, but there we go. May not have sound, but well, I don't know. You get the idea. I mean, they were just having a blast. It was really fun. And we take pictures. The team leader, she had a great idea years ago to bring a photo printer. So we take pictures during the week, and then we bring them to the fiesta, and they can pick pictures and take pictures of themselves home, and they like that. But so that's a little bit, kind of gives you a little bit of idea of what the week looked like. But I wanted to just talk about a couple things that were meaningful to me. Specifically this year. One is right in the middle, the lady with the long blonde hair. Her name is Debbie Figley, and she is the team leader from St. Andrews. And the lady next to her is Marta Espinoza, and she works for HOI and has been doing her job as a leader for the groups that come in for, I think she's been there 20 or 24 years. And she's been there every year I've been there, and she just is, you know, full of kindness and fun and funny. She's just a great lady. But I wanted to talk about Debbie, because Debbie went on this trip for the first time probably, I don't know if it was 15 years ago, and Debbie had such a meaningful experience that it really became kind of a passion of hers to bring others along. And think about story, you know, Jesus, come and see, you know, and ever since then she's been, come and see what this is about. And she has coordinated these trips, and this year I was really paying attention to what's involved in leading and coordinating this, and it's a lot. She did a lot of work, but she's done this as a passion, and so many people have been able to come alongside her and have this experience and be part of this ministry in Honduras, which I think is really special. And that was part of what was special about this trip for me this year. I really wanted to be able to share this with others, and it was such a happiness for me to be able to share this trip with Lori and with my daughter. I know that Lori and I have talked, and I know that this is the kind of mission that she had been feeling called to, and I'm going to let her talk. I'll tell her story, but so it just gave me a lot of joy to be able to bring others along also, like Debbie has done for others too. So there's Virginia Catherine and Lori, and the person sitting next to Lori, her name is Paige, and Paige is 20 years old. Paige was one of the ones that Debbie took on this trip when she was 15, my daughter's age. And Paige is a college student now. She spent a month of her summer, this summer, in Africa, working in an orphanage. So she has kind of got this real eagerness to serve and continue to do mission. And she was Debbie's assistant leader this year and may become the leader of the team going forward from their church. So anyway, it's just, it is a great discipleship opportunity and a chance to share. So that was something that was meaningful. And yes, there's my daughter, and it was just really special, and I'm so thankful that we were able to go together. The other thing I wanted to mention that I reflected on this year, and I don't know, I guess maybe I've thought about this before, maybe I haven't, but I was impressed with it this year. It's been several years since I've been on this trip, and in some ways it felt harder to me this year. And I don't know if that's because I'm older or what, but I really noticed the discomforts a little bit more. So one of them being, there's a lot of travel. You travel internationally 2 days, and then you have a day of in-country travel, which is 8 hours on a bus, So that is challenging. But I was thinking, the thing that I thought of on this year's mission was the incarnational aspect of this ministry, that we go to where the people are, we become a part of their lives for a week, and we experience life as they experience it to some extent, and you work alongside of them, and it really did make me think about Jesus leaving the glory of heaven to come to our earth and to be like us and to live like us and to put on our skin and have our experience so that he could show us love and help us to know God. And that's really what this is about. And you really do, the relational aspect of the trip is one of the things that is so meaningful about it. Because the work is important, and it does truly help the people. I mean, it does help with practical things that they need, and the money that comes from the team helps to buy supplies that, they need that financial support to buy those supplies. But the connections that you make with the people are really special, and that is where you kind of have those moments where you see Jesus in others, and they have the opportunity to see Jesus in you, and it's very meaningful. So this is just a group picture after we'd all been working together on a floor, and this person on he's on the right, he's kind of halfway in the picture, and his name is Ramon, and I worked with him for several days, and we couldn't really communicate very much, but you just connect with people somehow as you're working together. And I was really touched on the last day when we had the fiesta. The members of the village all brought gifts, and they picked out, I don't know if they were things that they had at home or things that they had bought, and this was different than I've ever experienced. They each gave the gift to someone that they wanted to give it to. So anyway, I worked with Ramon for several days, and he came over and he gave me a napkin holder like this, and it just was really, it kind of touched my heart because I felt like, there was like a real kind of friendship of a sort that was formed. So that is something that's really special about this week. And these are just some of the other pictures. This lady in the pink shirt, I worked with her the first day. Her name is Gladianeta, and she just had the brightest smile, and she was a hard worker, and she just welcomed us right in. She was just so lovely. And these are some of the kids. They're holding hygiene kits. On the last day of the fiesta, we gave them all a hygiene kit, which has a cup and a toothbrush and I think a bar of soap in it, so they were able to all have one of those. And these are just some of the other, pictures of friends that we made. And I think this picture of me and Sandra is so funny because I look like a giant next to her. I feel like I look like, really, like Goliath next to her. And this is just the last picture. I wanted to end with this one because it does help when you get away and you get out of your normal rat race and routine and you get into this kind of a different environment. It does shift your perspective. You're reminded about the things that are important, and you're reminded about what's important. And this picture, I talked about this little boy when I talked about this in church the other week, but this is the little boy that was playing with the toys. And the toys were clothespins and the leg of a chair and this plastic bag. And they're perfectly contained. You can see it's just dirt on the ground. I mean, it's very simple circumstances, but we don't always need everything that we feel like we need or that we're killing ourselves to have, and so it's refreshing to go and be reminded of that. So I'm going to turn it over now to Lori, and Lori had a unique experience, and I'm excited to hear her talk about that.